I decided to make this list after learning that Disney and Lucasarts have signed a deal with Ubisoft to make an open-world Star Wars game. I have no doubt that you will be able to choose from many different career paths and character classes once this game is released, and am hopeful that you will be able to fly many different types of ships, from small starfighters to small capital ships such as corvettes and gunships. Personally, if it's an option, I would like to play the game, whatever it's eventually called, as a smuggler, briefly role-playing as Han Solo or Malcolm Reynolds before inevitably crashing my ship into a moon because I can't figure out the controls. I imagine a fair number of Jingles landings would also take place. This is a list of some of the ships that I would personally like to fly in this game, taken both from Legends and Disney canon. These are the designs I find particularly interesting or cool. Feel free to comment on what you think of my choices, as well as suggest any designs you would like to fly from the Star Wars universe. Oh, and this list is in no particular order because I just can't pick a favorite from this list. Large, with decent agility, speed, and protection, the Corellian Engineering Corporation's VCX-100 was the premium offering in the light freighter lineup of the corporation, being considered a step up over the YT series in terms of features, with cost aimed at wealthier customers. The ship was obviously larger than the YT series, being large enough to accommodate larger cargo holds, spacious crew accommodation, and even its own dedicated shuttle and fighter to extend the ranges at which the ship could operate. The vessel contained crew amenities and public areas uncommon to the light freighter market, making it much more comfortable for its crews than other similar offerings from CEC or other corporations. And yes, this is the same class of ships as the Ghost, which features prominently in the TV show Rebels, and is probably my favorite ship introduced in the franchise since Disney purchased the rights to Star Wars. The thing looks like a flying turtle, and I like turtles. Although an older design no longer in production, the YT-1300 series is a proven class of light freighter which holds an iconic status among Starship aficionados. This classic design is highly modifiable and renowned for the ease at which it accepts modifications and design alterations. No longer in production, the only way you can buy a 1300 is from a used Starship dealer. Due to the class's classic status, most vessels that are for sale have been given up by their users for good reason, and will require oftentimes a near total rebuild of the ship. However, most buyers looking at a 1300 intend major modifications and alterations anyway, so this is not as big an issue as some may initially think. If brought up to good condition and properly maintained, a 1300 can offer surprising performance for a ship of its size, and the vessel can also be sufficiently well armed if given the correct modifications. The same applies to the ship's speed and range as well. The one issue is its limited crew facilities and mediocre cargo carrying capacity. However, these issues are easily ignored once you have had the chance to fly the ship for any significant amount of time, as many previous YT-1300 owners can attest. And, as if it needs to be said, who wouldn't want to fly one of these and pretend to be Han Solo? Although not as well known as some designs, and built in only limited numbers, the Ghrtoc 720 is a modern and highly reliable model of light freighter built to compete with designs like the YT-2400 series on equal footing, and largely succeeding. The type combines good carrying capacity and range with surprising maneuverability for a ship of its size, as well as the ability to accept a wide variety of modifications to suit an individual's specific needs. The class was a modest success at the time of its introduction, and in an effort to salvage the company's bleak financial future, Ghrtoc created a number of related designs, notably the Cargo Empress series of mid-range, large freighters. Licenses to produce the design were also granted to many smaller outer and mid-rim companies in an effort to increase profit margins. ensuring that even though its manufacturer has gone out of business, parts for a 720 are still easy to come by and much more affordable than other parts for other ships of its vintage. I still think the VCX looks like a turtle, but come on, the 720 must have been designed by one, because clearly the ship is just a space turtle. Sadly, I don't think this design has made it into canon from Legends yet, but I have hope that it will at some point anyway. In essence, when CEC was creating the YT-2400, they examined their best-selling YT-1300 series and took what made that design such an enduring success and translated it into a design several decades newer, which benefited from recent advances in technology. As a result, it comes as little surprise that this highly modern ship has seen sales which have broken all manner of records for CEC, with the class expected to be a common sight along the space lanes for decades to come. Although smaller than the YT-1300, the 2400 benefits from a more efficient layout, though it still carried less cargo than a typical 1300. The ship is more agile, faster, and due mostly to its newer status, more reliable, with parts being easier to come by in the event that something does break. As a CEC product and a member of the YT series, the 2400 is very easy to modify and customize to suit the needs of the vessel's owner, with some common modifications seeing the addition of heavier weaponry, stronger shields, and the ability to carry externally several more cargo modules, greatly increasing its carrying capacity and allowing it to compete with the likes of the VCX if the need arises. It's basically a smaller, cuter Millennium Falcon. What's there not to like? The final product of the now defunct Gallifrey Yards Ltd, the YKL-37 series, was a group of generally similar light freighters, which the company produced in a doomed effort to transition from their wildly unsuccessful GR-75 series transports into the small freighter market, a market already saturated with CEC and Kuat offerings. By the time a line had been established, the company had already been nationalized by the Galactic Empire and its assets sold off to rival concerns, meaning that only a few hundred of the ships would ever make it into service. Despite its production being cut short, the type is very capable, with the R model in particular being sought after by many for its adequate protection and, for its type, powerful armament. Parts may be an issue for owners, however, given its very limited production, but an even greater potential issue to those who may be considering owning such a vessel is the fact that many incomplete ships were purchased by concerns affiliated with the terrorist organization known as the Rebel Alliance, meaning that Imperial commanders who do encounter a YKL are very likely to order the ship stopped and inspected due to its affiliation with that organization, making it a less than ideally suited vessel for an aspiring smuggler. This ship appeared in the Star Wars Galaxies video game in the Legends continuity, and has sadly not made it back into canon as of yet, though it is a ship that I really like, and out of all of those on this list, I would be most likely to get if I were to be able to be a smuggler in the Star Wars galaxy. So there we have it, some of my all-time favorite ships in the light freighter category in the Star Wars universe. Please note that we have no information yet about what kind of ships will be available in this upcoming Star Wars game, nor even a title for it, or a description about what it will be about. But it's still something that's fun to think about and fantasize, what kind of ships you would fly in the Star Wars galaxy, if given the chance. On that note, be sure to let me know what kind of ships you would like to fly if you were in the Star Wars galaxy. And remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more future content like this.